Hey, what's going on? It's Sherrita C W Delacruz, and this is the Figures of Speech Talkcast, powered by Esoterica Entertainment, Blast Music 24/7, and you. Tonight, we have the pleasure of talking to Tanikka Charraé, a great R&B artist that I want you to get to know. Come on in.
Hey, hey. Can you hear me?
Yes, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing well. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you. All right. So let's just get all the particulars out the way. So Tanikka Charraé,
Correct.
affectionately known as TC.
Mm-hmm.
How did people get to calling you TC?
Well, my mama, shout out to my mama, named
Huh?
me Tanika Sheree. And I don't know. I mean, it's 14 characters total. Maybe people just got tired of writing it. I don't know.
I
But
get it.
it is what it is. I love it.
I love it too. I get it. I have a um, long name too.
You
Like
do.
before I got married to Sherita Shante, and it was like triple was a double consonants in my maiden name. So, shouts out to the mamas.
Mm-hmm.
So, where are you from?
I am from the Philadelphia, as I like to call it, but I'm from Philly.
All right.
Hmm.
What neighborhood? What side of town you from?
I'm in the Mount Airy section right now, but I grew up on like the Roxborough side.
Hey, okay.
Hmm.
Shouts out to Philly. Um, it's exciting to know that you are from the hotbed, one of the hotbeds of music on the East Coast.
And I'll
Um,
say it again. This is what I be trying to tell the people.
they don't even understand. Like, Philadelphia is soulful. It's a
Hmm.
soulful city
Hmm.
and jazz infused. It's just so many great elements that come out of the city of Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I I can't say it enough. Let's say you still live in Philadelphia?
I do.
Right, all right. Did you ever live anywhere else?
I mean, no, not really. If we mean long extended, like I consider LA like a second home. One of my best friends lives out in LA. My sisters live in North Carolina, so I spend a lot of time out there too.
Shouts out
But
to
the NC, yep, that's right. They live there, so I spend time there. But not like actually changing, hiring movers and changing addresses and whatnot.
yeah, I dig it. So how did you know that you were talented in music?
How did I know? That's an interesting question. I don't know that I knew per se, because I think sometimes when things are kind of innate, you just think of them as just something that you do. But I will say my mother will always tell a story like, oh, you could sing before you could talk. And I'd be like, all right, mom, I could sing before I could talk, whatever. But then she like one day I just listened to the story, and this was like recently, like maybe like 3 years ago. And she was like, no, I'm trying to tell you, you could sing before you could talk. And I'm like, what age baby are we talking about here? And she was like, I just know you were in the car seat and I was playing nothing but the righteous. And I just heard this little voice saying righteous. And I turned back and she said, nobody believed me. She said, you couldn't walk yet. So you were singing before you could walk and you were singing before you could talk. She was like, you had to be like 8 months. And I was like, okay, now the story is slightly interesting. Now I'm intrigued. So that's her story and she's sticking to it. And that's the nature of my upbringing. So to my point, I just kind of always thought like when I was reading albums and I was seeing that a lot of the artists weren't writing the songs, that's when I was making the connection like, oh my goodness, what? And initially I was just like, oh, so I don't have to write songs. But I was like, but I'm a writer. Like I have to write songs. But I thought I had to write songs to be a singer. So again, you don't fully know that something that you're doing is out of the ordinary all the time until it's kind of pointed out. So
Mhm.
unless you're surrounded by a bunch of folks that don't necessarily do what you do. And while that was kind of my upbringing, it was still kind of like again natural. Like there was music around all the time. Everyone was singing, everybody was playing something, so it was still natural.
Mm-hmm. So you were a singing baby.
Mm-hmm.
What did you like to sing? Do you remember your first songs that you sang?
Oh, I mean, all gospel. I didn't have a choice. It was gospel all day, every day. Okay. What else did I like to sing? I tell the story all the time. Like, I know that I was purposed in music because even as a kid, like I would be singing in harmonies. Like, I don't know why. I would just naturally all the time sing in harmony. Like if
Wow.
the lead Mariah Carey was singing, I was singing with her, but I was singing a harmony. And then I would challenge myself and I'd be like, all right, let me figure out what the other harmony is. And I did it all the time. It was like just a natural thing that I would do. So nerdy, but you know.
No, it's not at all, because at least you to be aware and understood about a thing rather than being in a gray area of knowing or not knowing, it's
Mm.
better to know, and at least you knew. So even though you had a natural ability, did you go to vocal coaches or anything like that?
So, the school that I ended up in, the middle school that I ended up in, had a program called SAM. I think it stood for Shawn. Uh, I don't know what it stands for. Let me not even pretend. But nonetheless, the M, I believe, stood for music.
Mm-hmm.
I started in that when I was in, because I think they didn't start letting you into like the fourth grade, or maybe it was sooner, who knows, but I started in that, and that was like this elite group of like, I don't know,
Artist.
singers, I guess, like in middle school, artists, yeah, kind of, but more concentrated on singing. And at that point I was playing flute and I was switching from violin to flute, and I was playing with piano, but I was like terrible fingering. I wasn't as committed as I should have been.
Right.
But nonetheless, that like started a lot of like my musical training, if you will. And I started becoming involved in orchestra, started becoming involved in plays, started becoming involved in um if my mom's on here, she would know or remember because we were just talking about it the other day. But even in my church, I started a youth band, and we had a youth band at the church. So music has always been integrated, and I'm always trying to head up something, just always trying to boss somebody around, I guess.
There's nothing wrong. It's called being a visionary and a pioneer.
Why, thank you very much.
We want to put people to the task with us. And some people stick, some people stay, some people
Mhm.
don't.
Mhm.
But at the same time, that same passion and that same process exists, right?
Mhm.
So, when did you get your start? You said you were in high school, middle school, high school. After you graduated, after high school years, did you like go to the open mics? There's a lot of them in Philly. Like, did
There
you get on?
are there
Yes, sir.
are ironically, my story is so like it's different, but I can't tell that part of the story without telling the back part of the story. But I grew up in a home where my mother was very much about enforcing our faith, and I'm so grateful for it now, for sure. Then I was kind of like, but mom, I just want to go to this concert, or I just want, and she was like, nah, you ain't doing not a nan.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that because it kind of builds um or shows you rather how I really became so engulfed in music, just in terms of learning who wrote what, learning how um who produced what, or what inspired, and this is really pre like internet, if I'm dating myself, if you will, but this is like pre hardcore heavy internet. So this is me like studying the wax of things. And I think that knowing that I wasn't supposed to be doing it, you can envision me running home real quick, 15 minutes just to read a Michael Jackson cover, or just to play it real quick, just to listen to it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but fast forward to I'm about 16, my mother comes in my room, and of course I'm like sneaking my headphones off, and she's like prophesying over me, and she says, literally, I see you traveling the world and you're going to be singing in front of thousands. I will never stop you from doing music again. And so I was like astonished, like, what? I don't know what this means, but that's what's up. And so I was like, when I turn 18, I'm hitting it. I don't know what that means, but I'm out of here. I'm doing everything I can to get into music. And my mom was like, yeah, no, you're going to college. So I did end up going to college. And while Philly does have a lot of open mics, the open mic that really kind of jump started me meeting one of my mentors was an open mic that was at my school, which was at Westchester. So yeah, shout out to Westchester and all the people who are on here who are my alums.
All right. I mean, definitely a couple of my inquiries are about your spirituality and your faith, and we will get to that
Mm-hmm.
because that is a very, very large part of who you are.
Oh, there
Um,
go my mama.
hey, mom, how
Faith
you
Built
doing?
Your Music Foundation. That's right. Oh, there go Westchester, right. Look at that. Hey, y'all.
Thank you for the support, guys. Thank you for coming on supporting TC on the Figures of Speech Talkcast tonight. Um, so you got your mom's blessing to go out
Mm-hmm.
into the world and do some things.
Mm-hmm.
We're at your school's open mic, and when did it get real for you as far as having the ability to intermingle with people that saw the things that your mom saw, that your peers saw, that you saw in yourself, that kind of catapulted you or sprung forward your ability to go out into the world a little bit further?
So to pick up at that point, I met one of my mentors, Damon Bennett. Shout out to Damon Bennett. He was just always meant to be like a part of my life. It was just so ironic that he played flute, he produced, and one day I was at an open mic in Philly and I was singing, and I knew I could sing. So one of my best friends, Keisha, my college best friend Keisha, shout out to Keisha, we met and clicked like right off of rip, and wherever you saw one you saw the other, and so we will always be singing. So that was another thing. I was always harmonizing with somebody as well, all the time. Okay, people would be like, sing that Kodak commercial, sing the Coca-Cola commercial. We would just be just harmonizing, singing, eating it up. But nonetheless, we would go to these open mics, and I went to this open mic one time and Damon came up to me and was like, yo, I just want you to know that you're a star and you're incredible, and I really want to help like cultivate like your gift. And I was like, and
Okay.
I was always around singing. So Keisha was more shy, but I was always the one like, singing. She was singing obviously with me, but it was like, yes, we sing. I was that person. But he saw that and he was like, he saw me sing and he was just like, yo, I really want to, and he said it right off rip. He was like, I am not trying to push up on you. I know that you are a young lady. This is not that. He was like, but I see something in you. And he really helped like cultivate my pen. Like he would just give me beats. He would be sitting on the side, making the beat, finish the beat, be like, all right, write to this. And I'd be like, okay. And I'd be
That's
like, okay, and then just be writing stuff, and he'd just be like, that's good, I like when you did this. Oh, I love the melody on this. And he would just work with me, and I would just spend hours with him doing that, like hours at a time, I should say, doing that. And then from there, he like just introduced me to so many people. Like he would just be like, okay, listen, we're going such and such. And I'd be like, and it's funny because I had a car and he didn't have no car, and he was an old head and I was young, and he'd be like, come on, we going to such and such. And I'd be like, where are we all right. And so we'd just be going to such and such studio, going to whomever studio, and next thing I knew, I was just meeting all these people, and they were just like, oh my gosh, like, you're so talented, blah 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 blah, or why don't you come here. But he introduced me to another friend named Rick, and I used to write a lot of songs with Rick, and almost in the same style that I used to do it with Damon, where Rick would sit there and produce. And I was so blessed to just be around these super incredible producers. Even now, shout out to Dre, these incredible producers that I can tell them what I hear, or they could just be playing something. And shout out to Brett too. But I'm just thinking of my producers. I love them. I love all the people who have really helped and contributed to my career. But nonetheless, he would work with me where he would produce something and I would write, and then I would write and be like, okay, maybe do such and such. And we would write with a whole bunch of local artists. So again, that was being cultivated and worked out. And then from there, all these different people that I was meeting essentially led to a point where Rick one day just called me and was like, hey, who's your favorite singer? And I was like, are you serious? Like, who's playing on my phone with who's my favorite singer? Like,
You know who my favorite singer is.
and then at the same time, you know who my favorite singers are. Like, you ask a singer who your favorite singer, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and I'm at work, I'm like, boy, I ain't got no time. I ain't got time for this. So so he just kept asking, and he was like, come on. And I was like, I mean, Stevie, Whitney, like Faith. I'm knocking the water bottle down. I'm like naming all these people. And he's like, no, who's your favorite? And I was like, Lauren. And he was like, bingo. And I was like, what? And he was like, she's holding auditions. You got to go. And I was like, nah. And then we had a mutual friend. His name was Chris. And Chris did a lot of the executive production with the Fugees and the Miseducation. So he was like in charge of Rough House Records. And that was based out of Philly as well. And he calls me and he's like, Tanikka, old white man, super like I used to party in the 70s, so now I'm reaping how I used to party in the 70s. That guy. Tanikka, yeah, oh my gosh, you have to come to the auditions. And I'm like, all right, Chris, whatever, I'll come to the auditions. And then that's what happened.
You got it.
I got it. Yep.
So you got to go on tour with her, or you sang background on the albums, or what happened?
Oh, I sing. I so I got the audition, went to the audition, and it was like a closed audition. She was on the laptop where she could see us, we couldn't see her. And she did it kind of like a cipher. So she's calling in an alto, calling in a soprano, calling in a tenor. And initially nobody moved. Everybody was just kind of like, she was like, all right, everything is everything. I'll get a soprano, an alto, tenor. And everybody was just standing there. And it was so funny. They were so catty and weird before, but everybody was a thug prior to. When it came down to it, ain't nobody had nothing to say. Everybody wanted to be a punk. So I was like, all right. So I stepped up. And then everybody else was like, oh, okay. So they started stepping up too. And she would run a song. She would hear us sing. And then she would ask for another set of girls. And I would go to back up. And she was like, no, you stay there. And I was like, Mom?
Me? You put it in me?
All right. So, she did a lot of the swapping and whatnot. And I stayed in the cipher. And then after that, she held another audition, an in-person audition. And from there, she didn't select like her 3. She selected maybe like 6 girls. And maybe like 5. She was still like kind of on the fence. And this one girl, I was like, I know she hear that she can't like sings. And I know she hear that she can't sing in that range. Cause she was like, I'm going to get this gig by any means necessary. And that lady was singing
everything.
And it was everything wrong. It was like, ooh, okay. So, but she did have a look and she had a vibe and, she did this bowing thing. It was weird, but nonetheless, we do like the first gig. She finally selects 3 girls. I'm one of the selections and it was terrible. We bombed. It was awful. It was like, think of the worst show ever, like background wise, because we didn't have no gel. The girl who was singing soprano, first of all, you can't be playing around with soprano, let alone not be a singer and be singing soprano.
And you're gonna hear the most of.
Yeah.
No gel, that means y'all didn't even get a chance to bond, or it was attitudes or egos, or what was it?
It was the things. It was
singing together for Lauryn Hill. That's enough gel for me. You would think, right?
Yeah, that's enough gel mentally. But what happens physically when you just physically don't gel? Your tone sound crazy. My tone sounds warm. Your tone sounds dark. You don't know how to adjust. Like, it's mad stuff to background singing in general. So it's not a matter of my willpower. It's like a matter of like, are we a cohesive unit? Like,
can I stop you right there? For our viewers, y'all have to understand, being the lead is one thing, but being the background singers is a whole nother thing. Like she said, cohesive, being able to gel with one another, feeling each other, being able to compensate for your teammate. It's a team back there.
That's a team back there.
No, and people might be like, "Ah, she was just a background singer." No, Mariah Carey was the background singer for. I just saw it yesterday. She was a background singer for a long, long time with the voice she had. But that's where you get your start. Luther Vandross was a
Luther
background.
Vandross, Whitney Houston,
Name them all, TC.
Kelly Price. I mean, like, oh, Kelly Price. My goodness. What? Yeah, like what is it? 30 Feet from Stardom or 3 feet from what 30 feet? Yeah. That movie in general just highlighted just how much of the support that the background brings. But it really is. Thank you for actually taking a moment to say that. But it really is work. It looks fun. It is fun, and it's work. You got to know songs. You got to know them. And I don't mean like maybe I know them kind of like how my girl on Soprano was. You got to know them.
You got to know them better than the lead, because what you're doing is making them better.
Mm-hmm. Yes, literally. And shout out to my sister on here who just said that she never knew this story. I'm hollering at that. And this is like my real sister. Anyway. And shout out to everybody on here who has joined me and supported me. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. But yeah, we bombed. It was terrible. And I knew I was fired, and to the point that I was like, I told my mom, like, I said, do not tell anybody that I got this gig, because I don't know where it's landing. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I was nervous, and after that show, I was like, oh, we're absolutely going home. We sound crazy. So the drummer Biscuit, shout out to Biscuit, had enough sense to say, hey, there's another singer. Let me go on and bring her in. And he brought Yolanda in, and it was me, Yolanda, and Jeanette. And we sang for the first time together. And we were singing something on the side, and Yoli, she goes, y'all sound good. We was like, oh, you sound good. And they go, okay, let's sing a song. Right. Well, let's sing a song. So we go to sing a song. And she looks up and goes, you ladies sound good. And I said, oh my gosh, we might have a fighting chance. And then from there,
been said,
I was so grateful. So from there, we like locked, and I mean locked, gelled, all of that, and it was beautiful. It was a super, super dope experience. And then I was like, that was like the first time I went out the country. So like I got the gig, say in like January, in like September, because it was still like kind of on the fence. It was like spotty dating. By like September, maybe like I want to say it was earlier. I want to say it was like maybe August. They were like, we're going to Africa. And I said, Africa, so you say?
I mean, I know we talk about dating ourselves, but we talk about history here. What year was this? Or you got to go?
Okay. So the funny thing is this. Yes, we are dating ourselves, but I am terrible at years. When I said in Make Room, I don't know the day or date, I meant it. I woke up today and said, is today Saturday?
And I get that. My days run together sometimes like that too. And I think it's Wednesday and it's really Monday. And I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, that's my so I don't remember what year this is, to answer your point. To answer you, I'm sorry. But it was
a Miseducation album.
No, this wasn't. This is 2000 something. This is
Fugees album.
This is, you said the Fugees album? No. This is like 20, I want to say 2008 or 2010.
Got you. Okay. We're out of the country. Boom, we're going. What country we landed at first in Africa?
Rwanda.
Oh, okay.
Rwanda. It was so fly. It was so dope. It was like, wow, this is Rwanda. I encouraged everyone to travel the country because it was not the textbooks. The textbooks you saw, the infomercial of the little African babies with the flies on their noses, like it was not.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you dispelled that rumor.
It's annoying. I mean, I'm sure that there are villages, and I've gone to villages, and they are very much not like a city, but like in terms of like, oh, hey guys, Africa is like not doing well. It's like Africa's doing amazing.
Absolutely. Africa is flourishing and always has. It
Mhm.
always has. That's why it's been such a commodity. That's why
Right.
people all go and colonize it. And that's for
Hmm.
another time. We'll keep that over there. We'll stay right here. And so you're singing, you're impressing upon Lauren Hill, your voice.
She's
Linda.
impressing upon me.
But I'm saying for her to be able to want you to go with her and sing with her.
Yeah.
That's power.
And you have to understand, like, this is not like when Rick said, who is your favorite singer? And the only reason why I didn't go to her first, I had no idea what he was talking about. But every single person on this live that knows me and like this me getting this gig was such a like mind-blowing thing that everybody on this live is like, no. When I'm telling you, my dorm rooms were decorated with obviously R&B's finest, but highlighted of Lauryn Hill. I would tell people, Lauryn Hill and I are friends. We are going to be friends, and that is my sister. Like, that was what I would tell people. So when I got the gig, people really legit was like, are you punking us? Because no one believed me initially. I didn't believe me. I was like, this can't be real. This is really my life. So when I was telling folks, like when I told my college best friend, she was like, no, there's no way. I said, bruh. She said, yo, you spoke that. I was like, I said, I can't even take credit for that because that's nuts. That's nuts. I could go to random people in my dorm and they'd be like, you know what's crazy? You sing for Lauryn Hill. You used to be playing all of them because I used to be DJing. I was always just doing the most. DJing, having all the songs. I'd be like, yo, y'all need to hear this song. Matter of fact, I was one of the first people in my dorm to play. This is just a sidebar. Music Soul Child, his album. And I remember when I played
Girl.
I played that, the dorm went nuts. They were like, what is this? And I was like, bruh, his name is Music. He's from Philly. And I would have these stacks of CDs and I would write my name on it and people would come, they would borrow my CDs, they would come and bring it back like it was the library.
Shouts out real quick. Let me put it just we'll say sidebar. This year is the 25th anniversary of I Just Want to Sing.
Oh.
Music Soul Child is going to be in Philadelphia May 31st, May 30th, 31st, and the 1st at the Roots Picnic. If y'all can get tickets, I was on a payment plan. We're going to see how that work out. But I'm trying to tell you, having over 100,000 people singing do 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 do.
Yep. I remember exactly where I was when I heard that song. I was in the car of my college boyfriend and he was dropping me back off at my dorm. And I was like, we just heard it. Like we were talking about something. And I was like, okay. Cause I was a good girl. I was like, I gotta go. Bye. And then we just heard the radio and I said,
he talking about you, girl.
Turn that up. I said, wait a second. I went in there. I said, I gotta figure this out. And I figured it out because it was attached to the Nutty Professor. And I played that thing for my dorm because we were in an all-girls dorm. Shout out to Felicia. I seen her on here. And they went nuts.
That ain't even the best song on the album.
What? That ain't even the... You can play the whole album straight through. You
can talk about any of them. Yeah, Carla, what you said. Yes.
Germantown in the house. That's the sound. What up, Carla?
That's Carla Simpson, one of the illest artists, comedians, actresses. If you want some work, get at her.
That's the sound.
Man, listen. That album, I'm not taking away from you any, but you know, you right here with me. That album, it resonated with me because it had a tale for everything we all experienced.
See, Ife was my roommate. She said you ran it in the ground. Yes, I did. Shout out to Ife. Ife was my roommate all through college. Shout out to Felicia too. Felicia was my I went to high school with Felicia, went to college with Felicia, and she's on here as well. But yes, I did. I'm telling y'all. I pride myself on being a truth teller. That's my little tag. And so when I be telling these little stories, the people be there. They be like, yup, that's exactly what she did.
Amazing. Amazing. So you do this work in Africa, you get back to the States.
Mm-hmm.
What's next for you? You got a huge milestone, a huge cosign. What's next for you?
She says, hey, I got a tour coming up. I'm doing these dates, actually, is what she says. And it's 3 weeks. And I go, okay. So I tell my mom and I say, I don't know. And she goes, that sounds like a tour. And I was like, it's not a tour. She's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's a tour. And I was like, no, Mom, that's not a tour. Okay. Clearly,
it can't be a tour.
Right. Clearly, Mom's know way more than you. I was like, it's totally not a tour. Still, mind you, I keep her sworn to secrecy. She's like, at this point, like, Tanikka, you've done like 4 shows. And I was like, I don't care. So she tells me about these dates coming up. And I look and I'm like, I pulled Africa off. Now, mind you, I was still working full time, 2 jobs. And I pulled Africa off by telling I had like mad PTO. I was working like a maniac. So I was like, I'm going to take some time off. I just need like a week and a half. They were like, you know what, Tanikka, you do need to take the time. This is a crazy time to take it, but sure, just take it. And I took it. I took it. I got vaccinated. Like I had to get like yellow fever shots. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, nonetheless, went to Africa, came back, then they tell me about these South American dates, and my mother's like, that's a tour. And I was like, tomato. And she was like, so what are you gonna do? And I was like, well, I don't know. And I said, well, I guess this is a tour, huh? So I went to I was working for a mortgage company at the time. I went to my boss, and I was like really young too. Like I was still in college, working 2 jobs and graduating. But yeah. I go to my boss and I say, hey, I got this opportunity. Oh, no. I handed her my resignation. And she was like, I was like such a, like, not like to big my own self up, but it was like, I everything I do, I really do really hard. So I was working, like I said, a maniac, like legit, like maybe 80-hour weeks. Like I was working like a lawyer and I was not a lawyer. And I was like doing all this extra stuff. So they were loving it because they were benefiting from it. So hearing that I was quitting was like, whoa. So they were trying to counter me. So they were like, well, can we have a meeting today at 2? You know, we really don't want to lose you, blah, 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 blah. So I go into the meeting and I'm smiling ear to ear because at this point, it's like, bro, ain't no counter in the world at this point.
Oh, you can hold it down for me till I get back, but
right. But the way counting, sorry. So I go in and I tell them, I was like, look, I got this opportunity. I was like, and they were like, well, what is it? And I was so like not expecting my boss at the time to know like who I was talking about. So I was like, well, I'm going on tour with an artist. And she was like, well, I know you sing, but oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That's amazing. And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, who's the artist? Might I ask? And I was like, Lauryn Hill. And she was like, are you serious? And I'm talking about, this is like a middle-aged white woman. This lady almost broke down, like crying. She was like, Tanikka, I was going to counter you like 10 grand, but there's no countering in the world. I will keep the position open at some point. You know, we'll find something and shift you around, but please go and be well. Bless you. It was like, she was like,
get back.
Right. She was like, be gone. Go ahead. And so I left and I was like, oh my gosh. And at the time, and my mom can attest to this, like at the time I had like bought a house. Like I was like, oh, I bought a house. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I was really, I've always been very tenacious and ridiculous, but but what that is though, to be fair, I like take these ventures of things. And so I was a realtor. So I was like, I need to buy a house. and nobody was buying houses at 20. However old, I was like, I need to buy a house. So I bought a house and sold my friends' houses too. I was like, guys, y'all need to buy houses. We need to have houses. They were like, all right, well, let's buy it.
And
Let's buy a house.
and you were their realtor. Listen, so you made bank. You know what? You go, girl. Do it all around.
So after that, it was like God just opened every door. I was like, God, if you want me to do this, like, bro, this is on you. And next thing I know,
that's what you gotta do. When we say it's on you, you got my yes. He'd be like, what? Oh, full rain? Let's go.
He said, let's go. So I put like a ad up, and what's up, Niche? You put that license in. I know I need to probably retest. But I put an ad out for my house, and within 12 hours, this woman hits me up and goes, I would love to rent your home. And I was like, I need to run some background on you. Are you okay with that? And by the way, the deposit is like 2 months. You got that? And she was like, yeah, I got it, cash. I said, okay, what is your name? I was running that lady info. That thing checked out clear. I said, okay, great. Then she said, by the way, it would be really helpful if you left your furniture. I was like, I don't think I could ask for anything else. I can't make it up. That's literally how it went. Literally. And then after that, I did those 3 weeks, and then I just stayed on tour for like a long time.
Wow. Okay, so some dates turned into a tour for a really long time. Did you hit Brazil? You hit Brazil, Argentina?
All of it. Chile. Sao Paulo. Brasilia.
What's your favorite song to sing with her?
What is my favorite song to sing with her?
Like when you were on tour, what was your favorite? When I know
you know I still sing with her, right?
I do now. I'm today years old. Let's go. What is your favorite song?
X Factor. She came to a funny story. She came to one of my shows, and she came all incognito, and somebody gave me a heads up, like, yo, she's about to come to your show. And I was like, no way. She literally came to one of my shows, came to Philadelphia from New Jersey to one of my shows. I was forever grateful and so honored. But she came to the show, and it was like I did like a fashion show because I have a clothing line. Did a fashion show / show. Comes to the show, and I was already going to cover X Factor. So I cover X Factor. And I'm singing it, and the audience is going nuts. They're singing along. They don't know she's right in the front filming everything. And they're like, no matter how I think we grow, you always seem to let me know. Everyone is singing, losing it. And like I want to say I might even closed with that song. And so it finishes or whatever. And we go to rehearsal maybe like a couple weeks later, and she goes, sorry?
She said, that's tough. I said, show go ahead.
So we go to rehearsal, and she goes, you know what I realized at your show? This is how she talks. She's very serious. You know what I realized?
Your voice you sound like you're impersonating her right now. Go ahead.
I am. I'm a big impersonator. That is like my love language. I love to do it. I have to tell everyone because they think I'm mocking them otherwise. But anyway, so she's like, you know, while I was at your show, I realized something. X Factor is the people song. And I was like, ma'am, all the songs is the people song, but I do know what you mean, because she just saw how like engulfed the people were just singing. Like I didn't even have to sing half the song. I was like, and they was just in.
Did you even get to care for me?
That's where they lost it. I was glad because I was losing my breath. I was like,
get in the privacy of your own home.
That's my song. But I'm telling you, that care for me live, it will take you out.
And the crowd is singing it with you. You've been about in tears.
Yep. So yeah, that's one of my favorite songs, definitely, to sing with her.
Good.
And she be singing. She do like a thing where she be like singing it like acoustic, and she be like, just give me keys. And that lady be letting it go. And I be like, every night wanting to throw something at her.
I've seen a recent one that she's done that she did with the I think with the keys like you're speaking on. It was on a reel or something.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way that she began the song. It was unconventional, but of
Mm-hmm.
course it's gonna go into the runs of the original.
Mm-hmm.
But man, just an amazing voice, an amazing talent, amazing opportunities that you've
Mm-hmm.
gotten. Can we do one thing real quick?
Sure.
I love we talk about favorite songs. All right. Let's talk about my favorite song of yours.
Mine, like my own song that I have written.
A Tanikka Charraé original. Can we talk about my favorite song real quick? Can we play my favorite song by you right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's called Love Look Good.
Ooh, shout out to Brad. Brad produced that. Oh my gosh, that was such a fun video and a fun song to do.
Let's see if we can bring Love Look Good up right quick.
So I think that I'm gonna book the ticket. Like, you think you may be able to come?
You see this book? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. Look at that chocolate.
Right. Girl, grab my skate.
But we don't even skate though.
Now it's more than a vibe. 'Cause now we talking my life. Can't believe we official, baby. Yo, you made your way on my device. Yikes. Man, I thought I was through. 'Cause love ain't never been true. I don't know what to do. I'm so strung out on you. Yo, you and me, hey, love, look so good. Hey, you and me, I love, and it's looking so good. I was doing alright. I wasn't even checking for nobody. Yeah, and then you came into my life, and then here you go. You were so different, baby. I decided that I'd give it a try. I try. Tell me how this could be. Someone perfect for me. Everybody can see how I'm finally free. Hey, you and me, hey, love, look so good. Yo, you and me, got love, and it's looking so good. Baby, I can't believe I found you. I done gave up on love for the last time, but you came along and opened my heart, and now I can't leave you even if I tried. What have you done to me? Baby, I just love so in love with you. So in love with you. Oh baby, when I think of you, in love with you. Look so good, yeah. Yo, you and me, we love the good. And me, I love, and it's looking so good, so good. Hey, you and me, hey, love. Look so good.
I'm sorry. Okay, listen. If y'all don't understand I hope you get it now about this powerhouse of a woman.
Aw.
Oh, because let me get myself together.
Aw, thank you.
Let's go back to these questions. And it leads me right into where I wanted to go. Being that you are a woman of God. Yes,
Thank you,
Carla.
Carla. Thank you, Ken. Y'all see Candace? Shout out to Candace. She was just in the video.
Okay.
Yes.
Being that you're a woman of God and you were reared in being a believer in God and his abilities in one's life, right? I love how you bring fun, hip, sensual, feminine energy, and you don't hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? That there's a fine line between secular music and, you know, gospel music or light music, but I'm saying, like, this is feel good music. This is music that someone who's a believer can listen to. I even see how you bring the notions of you make love look good, but you got on your knee for this too. I'm dating to marry. You know, in this culture, it's not, and mind you, yes, this visual is a few years old, but it still resonates. It's still fly, and it's gonna be. But I'm saying it gives the understanding that you don't have to do what you see to be, if that makes sense. Tell me how you bring that. Tell me, are you mindful in bringing that forth, or is it just through the gift that it comes forth that way?
Yes, I'm mindful. I mean, I love God, like, for real. Like, there's a lot that I could do that I would like to do sometimes, and sometimes God be like, nah.
And that sounds like you got a relationship with God to me, because the way God talked to me, he'd be like, he be talking to me like, what?
He be like, you could miss that one. I'll be like, you sure? Nah, I will say a lot of the time. Sometimes I'll be missing the mark, something terrible. But I will say that I think that when I keep that in the forefront, like, I think about, like, if I'm repping him, like, in real life, like, what does that look like? Like, I don't have to have I love Jesus over my forehead. I love Yeshua, like, over my forehead, but it should be reflected in what I do. So what does that look like? So I think that it has to look like that in my art. Like, that's, I will say this, and I say this often, and I mean it, obviously, but one of the first things that we see God doing is creating. So when I saw that I was creative, like, that shows the reflection of how I'm made in his image. And so like, I really want to be, like, mindful of that, you know, and I'm responsible for what I do here. So I really take that into account as well. Not to mention, I'm like a daughter, I'm an auntie, I'm like people are looking at me, like, in real life, that matter. And
you have a responsibility already.
So there's that. And then there's the, you know, I've got, like, really great friends, sister friends too, that's like, girl, you sure you want that out there? Or, like, just, you know, in general, even just outside of it being too, like, whatever, it's also like is this funny? Is this cool? Is this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have a good council of friends that are invested in me in that way, and that understand that, you know, I really do want to make music that makes God happy. I think I'm at a space now where, you know, if a Grammy comes, that's great, but my actual goal is, like, I really want to make music that is clean, and I really want to make music that is not necessarily beating you in the face about God, but makes you either curious about him, or reminds you about him, or points back up to him. Like everything I think always point back up to God. And when I say not beating you in the face about God, I'm not a gospel singer, so that's not my my space, if you will.
You're on the walls here.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm walking in what I think that the Lord has gifted me in, and I think that that is in the gift of writing. I think that's in the gift of song. I think that's in the gift of creativity, visual expression, and you know, in that I have a responsibility for it to represent God and be dope and look dope in that regard. That would be my definition of dope, if you will.
Absolutely. So, rolling it right back. See how God is leading this interview. You know, he's leading this interview for real. Like your latest release came out in February 2025. You produced it
March.
March. Okay, I'm sorry. I was going on my information.
That's
Thank
okay.
you for
Now I had one come out in February and I had one come out in March. So you were right.
Okay, good.
The one in February was Love Idiot. The one in March was Make Room.
Okay, Make Room. That's the one I'm talking about. Make Room. Did you produce that as well as wrote it?
Yes.
Was that your first time doing that in completion?
Yeah. No. Yeah. We'll say yes.
And how was it for you? How did you feel about that experience?
It was cool. So the reason why I'm hesitant is because I kind of have done that or do that and have people build onto it. And so I've done like a song where I kind of did something similar to that, but it was like one little addition, like maybe some keys. So like I did the, you know, release the song, but this one I did everything and you know, gave it to the engineer, shout out to Jason, and had him mix it. So I did all of it from start to finish besides the mixing. So that was it was different. My friend who I normally work with, Dre, he co-produced Love Idiot, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we are currently working on as well. So this was like the one that he didn't get to jump on because I did send it to him like, hey, put some bass on here, but he wasn't able to do so. And honestly, I don't know if it just needed to be that for me, because when I did write it, I'm not gonna lie. So you did ask earlier, what's one of a song that I like? This is probably one of my songs that I wrote that I like, that I'm like, oh my gosh, I wrote that. Wow. That's pretty, I'm pretty proud of this one. So that is when I look back at it in that way, it's almost like God let me have something that I did by myself that I'm actually really proud of, and kind of like, wow, I know that this is like an undeniable record. So I don't know if it's helping in building my confidence in, because I know that I'm a writer and a pretty solid writer, and I know that is one of my giftings. But sometimes I think you need like reassurances, and like, okay, and I haven't written in so long. Like all last year, I hadn't written at all until December. So, so sorry.
Take a break.
Well, last year was a really, really rough year for me. I lost my stepmother. It was just rough in terms of the timing of just everything. It was just it wasn't just a fun year. It was a challenging year. So I didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have a lot of emotional capacity. I didn't have a lot of, I just didn't have a lot of whatever I needed, I guess, to muster up an inspiration to write anything. And so toward the end of the year, that's when I started writing just a lot.
My condolences to you. I lost my mom in May of last year. So
I'm sorry. My condolences to you.
Thank you. So I totally understand as a creative. I'm not gonna go into my stuff because this is about you, but just know I can't. And so we're so happy that you've been able to rebound and come through that to a place where you can return to something that can help you along, right? Do you find that the writing had a lot to do with releasing your
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm completely quote unquote rebounded. I think grief is not, as to your point, you would know, but I think it's just, it comes in waves, as the people like to say, because that is really true. I think that it has been helpful in terms of it being cathartic. I think it's just still so much there though. So or still so much to I guess kind of release too, because I think I'm just finding so much even out about myself in a lot of this. So yeah.
Because like you say, personality is very bright and full, and something about grief can take even your best attributes and set them down for a second and try to overwhelm you.
Oh yeah.
But we commend you on being able to get to a place where you can come back to something that gives you joy.
Thank you.
And God willing, that will be able to give you more power to continue to press forward. Which video would you like to see? I want to share both of them.
I don't know. You choose. What's on the option list? What's happening?
Personally, Make Room would be the one, because I want them to hear and see you in all capacity.
Well, I don't have a full video for Make Room. I only have the rap video for Make Room. I only have a snippet of the rap. I mean, they can see. I don't know. I don't have any recent and even Love Idiot. Like, I have videos, but not like full videos. Like, not, they're just content.
Vocal, because that's what I saw. Okay. Well, let's go with Make Room. I like. Veep, can we go to Make Room right quick?
Cause I'm thirsty. Do the hard work so that no one doesn't meet the worst me. I don't know the day it did, I just know that I'm busy. Drink my water before spin so that I don't get dizzy. Tie my hair up tight real quick so my roots don't get frizzy. Grab my phone and write a list, and there's a miss text message from you. Something in my trash. Somehow you went into your bed. Now you got me acting brand new. Fragile like a throwback, like the beauty of the weekend chat. I just hope that this is really you. Can't wait to see you again. Oh, kinda kick up on me, but if you ain't made of glitter, I just might reconsider. Cause I like having you around, you make me lose my nervous energy. Yo, boy, I'm still a G. I know it might be soon. I don't mind making room, cause I like having you around, yeah. Give Leo a treat and start packing up for rehearsal. Shower quick cause I know traffic right now is the worst show. Call my sister on the drop, but talk to my niece first though. Can't hang out without hearing her sing her favorite verse show. Stop a gas, grab a snack, subtle thoughts of you. Push 'em quick, take it back since it's still so new. Don't wanna jump the gun, but just someone I could know deeper. But only time will tell me if you really are a keeper. Saw me dead in my tracks. Tell me how you would've did that. Now you got me acting brand new. Got me all in my bag. Working ain't got nothing on that, but it's the same thing in my heart. Can't wait to see you again. Sorta gave up on that, but if you ain't made of glitter, I
pursuing peace, clean living in and out. I got that cycle on rinse and repeat. Too many times have tried to take me out, but I still gain defeat. Shutting them all down by force like control or delete. I know you see the point that's key. It's me having the option. Letting you in my bubble only means that I've been watching. I take my space as serious. NASA takes its satellites. I'm out this world, not all shit access me because I'm kryptonite to every Superman wannabe. Frontin' in front of me, pretending like they man enough, but got feminine tendencies. I'd rather be home by myself, protecting my energy, waiting for the most high to finally start aligning me with you. I don't know, maybe, I mean, you do got a warm familiar feeling and a dope kindredness too. And if I'm telling the truth, pom-poms, I'm rooting for you. If it's true without the panic, I'm willing to make the Can wait to see you again. Gotta give up the man if you ain't really clear to. I just might reconsider, cause I like having you around, you baby. That's right, I'm still a she. I know it might be soon, but I don't mind making room, cause I like having you around, yeah.
I'm sorry. Talking to the people in the chat. But yes, listen. I'm telling you, you are really, really a talent to behold. Where can we find you on social media?
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You can find me everywhere. Tanikka Charraé, TANIKKA everywhere. Tanikka Charraé on Instagram, Facebook. Might be Tanikka Charraé Music, but nonetheless, you'll get it with
Right.
Tanikka Charraé. You'll get there.
Got you. So these are singles. Are you
hmm
going to put out a full length project soon? Or are you just going to go for the singles for now and baby step your way into our lives even further?
Baby step. Baby step. I feel like I'm taking leaps. No.
Oh, strategy. No, I'm talking about people that don't know you and who are going to discover you tonight on this podcast. And I mean, they would be if they didn't.
Aw. Well, I guess I am aiming for an album. Drake keeps talking album. He keeps saying album, 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 and I'm like, so next month, what I want to put out is. But yes, essentially the goal would be to put out a cohesive project in some capacity.
Because we want to know your story. You know, typically albums give the crumb
Picture
trail.
and the crumb
Yeah.
trail, yeah.
And so like we get bits and pieces, but that's keeping us interested as the listener. You know, one moment you know, you gonna let them know I'm kryptonite to these so-called Superman wannabes. That's ill. When I heard you, when I heard you say that, I was like, girl.
Wait,
Come
it's
on.
funny. I called my friend Dre and I was like, I bet you didn't even catch half of the nuances I put in there. He was like, tell me. He's like, I caught them. Okay, wait, no, maybe I missed it. But one of them I will say that's actually pretty funny that I don't think a lot of people will catch. I say after that kryptonite line, I say, I'm out this world, not all should access me, which stands for NASA. So I say I take my space as serious as NASA takes its satellites. I'm out this world, not all should access me because I'm kryptonite. So yeah, I have fun playing with little things.
And that's what dynamic. That's what makes it dynamic from one writer to another. That cleverness, those niches, they're just So, what else would you like for us to know about you before we get out of here?
I'm doing a festival called Beer Fest June 28th. June 28th. Yes. It's in New Jersey. And if you are local in the tri-state area, please come through. But I'm really excited. This is probably one of the first shows that I've done in a very, very, very long time, live show. So I have a solid set, and I've been working through the set with Dre, and we got some really cool, like, interesting. I mean, the set thus far is very much, it's so eclectic, but it's so me that, like, when people see it, they'll be like, wow, huh, different, but it works.
Hey, and anything else this summer after Bear Fest?
There's a lot of inquiries. I have not done a lot of confirmations yet, but I'm also still working. I'm still a background singer, so there's that too. So, gotta multitask.
You don't work jobs anymore. You're totally enthralled in your artistry.
Yes.
Good.
Thank God. Thankfully.
I'm so excited for you. And I mean, even though you have the longevity with the background singing, I'm so excited that you're taking the reins and you the horse yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
That's what happens to people who create. We can't find words, so we use
sounds and emotions. Ka-cha! I was like, I know exactly what she's talking about. Exactly. Horse.
This is what you're doing this. Right. But feel free to come back to see us whenever you want to, if you have anything that you want to promote, especially when you get that first Grammy nomination.
Thank you so much.
When you drop the first album, we want a preview.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
No problem. Before we go, we always just want to allow our guests to say something to give our viewers and listeners inspiration through adversity, continuing to press forward in the things that they do that they know that they should do from their heart. What would you like to impose on us tonight before you get out of here?
What would I like to impose?
Well, impress upon.
The cliche line is keep God first, but it's like, what does that look like? I would challenge folks to find what that looks like. For me, it's really talking and engaging with him. Like I was saying earlier, sometimes where he's kind of like, nah. And so I think pursuing that outside of your cliche, keep God first, I think it's pursue God for me. So if I were to leave anything for people, it would be to pursue God. I think your moves move different when you pursue God. I know your moves move different when you pursue God.
Can I say that I had this Facebook post today? This truck pulled into the parking lot of a place where I was at, and on the truck it said diligence. And part of diligence is pursuit. So you locked that with me. Thank you. Thank God for you. I thank God for that.
That's awesome.
And he is. Listen, y'all, make sure that you check her out on all social media. And you can go to YouTube and catch Love Look Good and the lyric videos for Make Room and Love Idiot. This is Tanikka Charraé. I'm Sherrita C W Delacruz, and this has been the Figures of Speech Talkcast on Blast 24/7.